anything about Charlie Kirk's parents. I just saw a video about this, and it had literally never occurred to me that no one is talking about, we have not heard from or seen footage of anybody other than Erika and the freaking vice president and Usha anywhere involved in the situation.
Dave Chappelle has just thrown gasoline on a fire no one even knew was still burning, and this time he's not joking. In a shocking late-night performance that was part stand-up, part bombshell confession, Chappelle claimed he's seen real receipts proving why Charlie Kirk's family cut Erika Kirk off completely after Charlie's mysterious death. He didn't just hint at it, he named names standing under a single spotlight. Chappelle told the stunned audience, "You think she's the grieving widow? You think she got shut out because of mourning? Nah. They found out what she was doing behind closed doors." The crowd went silent. Phones came out. Clips started spreading before the show was even over. Within an hour, #Chappelle exposes Erika was trending across every social platform, according to Dave. The story goes much deeper than the public ever knew. He claimed the Kirk family discovered transactions, recordings, and letters that tied Erika to something that wasn't just betrayal, it was sabotage. He even said someone from inside the Kirk circle personally handed him copies of what he called blackmail material turned inward. And right as the audience gasped just as he was about to reveal what was in those files, the theater lights flickered. His mic cut for a full 10 seconds and he walked off stage. No explanation. No encore. Just one final sentence echoing through the room. When families turn on their own, it's never about grief. It's about guilt. To understand why Dave Chappelle's revelation hit the world like an earthquake, you have to rewind back to the strange, hidden relationship between comedy, power, and politics that nobody ever talks about publicly. For decades, Chappelle's comedy has walked the razor's edge between truth and taboo. He's mocked presidents, exposed Hollywood, and made billionaires squirm in their seats. But this time, his target wasn't a celebrity, a corporation, or the industry that betrayed him. It was the Kirk family, America's most image-controlled dynasty in political media. It all started months ago, when whispers began swirling that Chappelle had met Charlie Kirk several years before his death. The meeting, reportedly at a private donor event in Washington, D.C., was brief but memorable. They didn't agree on anything, said one insider, but they respected each other. Chappelle was struck by how out of place Charlie seemed, like he knew something he couldn't say out loud. Then came Charlie's death, sudden, suspicious, shrouded in mystery, followed by the eerie silence of his widow. Erika Kirk, the woman once known for her radiant, faith-based public image, vanished almost overnight, while rumors of family tension began leaking through back channels. The official line was simple. The Kirks had parted ways with Erika to preserve privacy. But privately, sources whispered of betrayal, legal threats, and missing funds. And that's where Chappelle comes in. The story goes that Dave wasn't even looking for trouble. Trouble came to him. According to multiple eyewitnesses at a charity event in New York earlier this year, a man claiming to be a former Kirk associate approached Chappelle backstage. The man allegedly handed him a plain manila envelope with the words, "You'll understand when you read it." At first, Chappelle laughed it off. He was used to wild conspiracies, people claiming to have the truth about Hollywood, politicians, secret societies. But when he opened that envelope, he didn't laugh. Inside were three things: a printed email thread, a bank ledger, and a still image from a home surveillance camera. The subject line on the email read, "Re the fund." What Chappelle saw next made his stomach drop. The email chain appeared to show Erika corresponding with a financial consultant about redirecting discretionary trust assets just days after Charlie's passing. The tone was cold, transactional, nothing like the grieving widow her public statements portrayed. One line stood out: keep this separate from the foundation account. They'll never know. That phrase, "they'll never know," haunted Chappelle. He mentioned it cryptically in several shows afterward, using it as a punchline no one understood at the time. But insiders say he was already obsessed with what he'd found. He started digging quietly, reaching out to people who'd worked for Turning Point and those who knew Erika personally. What he uncovered turned fascination into fury. According to one of Chappelle's close associates, he discovered that Erika's relationship with Charlie's family had been deteriorating long before his death. There were fights about money, fights about influence, even fights about who got access to Charlie's digital archives, the source said. After he died, things went nuclear. Reports began to surface of private investigators being hired by the Kirks not to find out how Charlie died, but to find out what Erika had done after. The family allegedly froze several joint accounts and cut Erika off from any administrative control of the foundation. But Erika wasn't backing down. She reportedly threatened to expose what really happened if they didn't release the assets. That's when, according to Chappelle, the real files started circulating in secret evidence. The family had gathered, showing why they truly cut her off. During his now infamous show in Austin, Chappelle described what he saw as the most disturbing family betrayal since Cain and Abel, except this one has Wi-Fi and offshore accounts. The crowd laughed. Not realizing he wasn't exaggerating, he claimed he'd been shown encrypted screenshots of messages between Erika and a consultant in Switzerland, referencing secure accounts, emergency reallocations, and something labeled K-Project. At first glance, the term K-Project sounded like corporate jargon until Chappelle hinted that it was shorthand for Kirk. But what really made him explode? On stage wasn't the money, it was the emotional manipulation, he said. One of the emails contained a line from Erika to an unknown recipient. "They think grief will make me compliant. Watch me turn their sorrow into my power." That was the moment Chappelle decided to go public. Friends say he wrestled with it for months, unsure whether to say anything at all. But when he learned that members of the Kirk family were allegedly using private investigators to track down anyone leaking internal documents, he snapped. He said it wasn't about politics anymore, one source revealed. It was about conscience. When Chappelle took the stage that night, his usual smirk was gone. He wasn't joking, he was testifying. He told the crowd, "You ever read something so ugly you can't even laugh at it? That's what this is." It's betrayal wrapped in a bank statement. He revealed that the home surveillance still, the third item in that mysterious envelope, showed Erika meeting with two unidentified men outside her residence 3 nights after Charlie's memorial service. The timestamp matched the same night large sums of money were moved from the family trust, and then came the kicker. Chappelle claimed one of those men had been identified, not by him, but by someone close to the Kirk family. The man, according to Chappelle, was a family accountant, one who mysteriously resigned weeks later and fled to the Cayman Islands. The audience at that Austin show sat in stunned silence. What they didn't know was that Chappelle was just getting started. After the show, clips flooded social media. Fans debated whether he was serious or staging a stunt. But those who were there that night said his expression said it all. This wasn't satire. This was a warning. And as the smoke spread across the internet, something strange happened. A private email sent from an address connected to the Kirk Foundation began circulating online. It read simply, "Mr. Chappelle has made a dangerous choice." Within hours, the email disappeared, scrubbed from servers, deleted from archives. But not before someone screenshotted it. And that's when people started asking the question that's now dividing the entire internet. What did Dave Chappelle really find in those receipts? Because if he's telling the truth, then the reason Charlie's family cut Erika off wasn't personal. It was criminal. The world had seen Dave Chappelle angry before, but never like this. The night after his Austin show, clips of him dropping those receipts dominated every platform. Viewers replayed his words over and over, dissecting every pause, every flicker of his expression. Was he joking? Was it real? Or had Chappelle, the one man who always turned pain into punchlines, finally stumbled onto something he wasn't supposed to say? By morning, #Chappelle Files had overtaken the internet. The headlines were everywhere. Dave Chappelle claims to have evidence of Kirk family cover-up. Comedian accuses widow of financial sabotage. Is Chappelle next on the list of the silenced? The story should have burned out in hours. But then the files dropped at 2:37 p.m. A folder appeared on an encrypted message board under the name therealreceipts.zip. Inside were 3 PDFs, 2 screenshots, and an audio recording. Within minutes, the internet had exploded. The files were grainy, blurry, and heavily redacted, but they were real. The first document was a bank summary from a Cayman Islands account titled EK Holdings Private, the initials matching Erika. Kirk, the document showed over $4.30 million transferred from an entity labeled Turning Point Trust. Just 1 week after Charlie's death, the second file, labeled Confidential Communication, was a letter addressed to Erika from a family legal representative written weeks later. The opening line froze readers' blood cold. Per the family's decision, your access to shared estate accounts and administrative privileges is hereby revoked pending review of the discrepancies identified in your postmortem transactions. In simple terms, the Kirks had discovered something, and it wasn't grief that made them cut Erika off. It was evidence, but the real explosion came from the audio file. It started innocently muffled voices, the sound of clinking glasses, a woman's soft laughter. Then, a man's voice said, "They'll figure it out eventually, you know? Charlie's family isn't stupid." A woman's voice, calm, familiar, replied, "That's why we move now. Once they see the transfers, it's too late." Then came the line that stopped every listener cold. "It's already done. They can't undo what's buried." The chat logs from Reddit, X, and Telegram exploded. That's her voice. It's Erika. Who's the man she's with? Within an hour, AI experts were analyzing the audio to confirm its authenticity. Their conclusion? No signs of digital manipulation. Chappelle, meanwhile, broke his silence. He posted a short clip to Instagram, just him sitting on his porch, smoking a cigarette, eyes half closed. "Y'all saw it," he said softly. "I told you I don't lie on dead men. I lie to get laughs, not to hide bodies." Then he looked directly into the camera. And this ain't even the worst part. That sentence sent the internet into meltdown. What worst part? What else did he have? Within hours, more pieces of the puzzle started to leak. An anonymous account on X posted a screenshot of an email allegedly between Erika and a foreign consultant, time-stamped 3 days before Charlie's death. The message read, "Transfer finalized. Confirm deletion of logs. I'll handle the narrative." The phrase "handle the narrative" became the spark that lit a digital firestorm. It wasn't just a scandal anymore. It was a potential cover-up.pod. Went into overdrive. YouTubers ran emergency live streams titled The Erika Files, What Chappelle Just Uncovered. Within hours, everyone from Alex Jones to political commentators on CNN were dissecting every pixel of the leaked material. But the Kirks stayed silent. No statement, no denial. Just silence until the next morning at 7:15 a.m. The Kirk Family Foundation released a terse press statement. "We are deeply disturbed by the reckless dissemination of fabricated materials that exploit our family's grief. We have instructed our legal team to pursue all available remedies against those responsible." It should have ended there. But just 2 hours later, that statement vanished from every platform, replaced by a blank white screen with the words, "Account suspended for verification review." Theories flooded in. Some said the statement was pulled because it was fake. Others said the foundation's servers had been hacked. But one post on a private Telegram group from a verified former Turning Point staffer changed everything. The message read, "It's not fake. They're scrubbing the family's servers right now. Erika was locked out years ago. They found something on Charlie's laptop that connects to those transfers." And that's when the first twist hit. A twist so shocking, it flipped the entire story on its tweet. On its re-sprinting at 10:04 a.m. The same anonymous source who had leaked the initial receipts uploaded a new image. A screenshot of what looked like a private message exchange between Dave Chappelle and Charlie Kirk himself. The platform was Signal. The date? 2 weeks before Charlie's death. Charlie: "Dave, you ever tell the truth and wish you hadn't?" Dave: "Every day, brother. But truth's cheaper than therapy." Charlie: "What if the truth gets someone killed?" Those 3 messages sent shockwaves across the internet. Fans realized Chappelle wasn't just a bystander. He'd spoken to Charlie before he died. But that wasn't all. The timestamp showed the last message. "What if the truth gets someone killed?" Sent at 1:14 a.m. on the night Charlie was last seen alive. The implications were staggering. Was Chappelle the last person Charlie confided in? Was that why the Kirk family cut Erika off, because the truth she was hiding was tied to how he died? The internet split in two. Some called Chappelle a hero, the only man brave enough to say what everyone else won't. Others accused him of exploiting tragedy for clout. But behind the noise, something undeniable had begun to take shape. Multiple journalists, real ones, from The Atlantic to Rolling Stone, began confirming that the financial documents in Chappelle's leak aligned with actual filings in the Cayman Islands. "We're looking at a genuine paper trail," one reporter tweeted. "If it's all real, the Kirks have a problem much bigger than PR." Then, in one final gut punch, Chappelle posted a cryptic tweet that simply read, "Erika wasn't the only one cut off. Someone else was erased." The tweet was deleted 30 minutes later, but screenshots flooded in immediately. Who had been erased? What did Chappelle mean? Within hours, new speculation exploded online. Was Charlie's death connected to something bigger? Something involving more than just family betrayal? Because if Chappelle was telling the truth, this wasn't just a scandal. It was a conspiracy. One that someone, somewhere, would do anything to bury. And from that moment on, one thing became certain. Dave Chappelle wasn't just holding receipts. He was holding ammunition. By the next morning, the entire internet had become a crime scene. Every platform, every feed, every trending tag was dominated by one name: Dave Chappelle. Overnight, he had gone from comedian to whistleblower, from storyteller to symbol, and the whole world was watching to see what he would say next. The leaked files had already sent shockwaves through political circles and media outlets. But now, with the screenshots of Charlie's final messages to Chappelle confirmed by multiple analysts as authentic, the story had transcended gossip. It was now the most dangerous thing a man could touch, the truth about a death no one wanted reopened, and then, just as everyone thought it couldn't get worse, Chappelle went live. It wasn't a Netflix special. It wasn't a comedy club. It was a grainy, low-lit stream on his personal YouTube channel titled "They Can't Silence Me." Within minutes, millions tuned in. There were no jokes, no crowd, no smoke breaks. Just Chappelle, sitting in what looked like a dark hotel room, staring directly into the camera. "You've seen the receipts," he began, voice low and steady. "But what you haven't seen, what they're still hiding, is why Charlie's family cut Erika off." He paused, dragging deeply on a cigarette before continuing. "She didn't just take money," he said. "She took control of the story. The entire foundation, Charlie's archives, his data. His passwords? All of it was under her name for 48 hours after he died. 48 hours. You know what you can do in 48 hours when you've got access to a dead man's life. He leaned forward. You can rewrite him. The chat exploded. What does that mean? Is he saying she faked records? This is getting scary. Chappelle lifted a stack of papers from the table beside him. These are copies of correspondence between Erika and a data consultant named Robert King, a tech contractor out of DN, who used to handle cloud transfers for Turning Point's private database. He's been missing since June, but before he vanished, he sent me this. He held up a printed email. The camera zoomed just enough for the audience to see the subject. Line, timeline, rewrite immediate Chappelle. Started reading, per your request. I've adjusted the digital timestamps and deleted flagged items from the archive before the family review. All files labeled CK private are now untraceable. He dropped the paper and stared into the lens. She rewrote his digital life. That's why they cut her off. The internet lost its collective mind. TikTok went into overdrive. Reddit threads dissected every word of the email. Cyber experts confirmed that the type of internal timestamp alteration Chappelle described was technically possible, but only with privileged access to highly encrypted systems, and just as this revelation began spiraling, a new player entered the story. An anonymous account called @Kirk TruthDrop posted a series of screenshots on X, formerly Twitter, showing internal Foundation memos marked classified. One memo, dated 2 weeks after Charlie's death, referenced unauthorized data erasure and a forensic request concerning missing drives. The final paragraph read, Erika continues to deny involvement. However, the metadata inconsistencies indicate intentional tampering. The family has initiated internal lockdown. This wasn't a theory anymore. It was confirmation. Erika hadn't just been cut off financially. She'd been locked out. Within an hour, cable networks picked up the story. CN ran a breaking headline: Kirk family data breach under internal review. Fox News aired a segment simply titled, The Widow's Secret. NBC's panel of analysts agreed on one thing. The files Chappelle leaked had real forensic fingerprints. Then, out of nowhere, a second leak dropped. Out of nowhere, a second leak dropped. A 56-second video surfaced on Telegram, blurry, low quality, filmed from what looked like a phone screen. The footage showed Erika Kirk inside a private meeting room, speaking to two men in suits. Her words were faint, but subtitles quickly spread. The foundation is compromised. We can't let Charlie's cloud get out. Wipe it. The internet went feral. If that footage was real, and dozens of forensic analysts quickly claimed it was, Erika had knowingly ordered the destruction of digital evidence tied to Charlie's files in less than 24 hours. Erika Kirk went from silent widow to the most searched woman on earth. Every news show led with her face. Every YouTube channel dissected her tone, her posture, her history, and through it all, Chappelle stayed quiet until the next night. He went live again, this time from what looked like a backstage dressing room. The title of the stream, Part 2. The family knew. I didn't want to do this, he began, sounding exhausted. But they're lying. And I've got to show you something the family's been hiding. He held up a printed photo. It was grainy, clearly taken from a surveillance camera. It showed Erika and an older man meeting inside a dimly lit restaurant. That, Chappelle said, pointing, is Charlie's uncle, one of the foundation's board members. That photo was taken 2 nights before the family announced they were separating from Erika. You know what that means? The cutoff wasn't about grief or accusations. It was a deal, he continued, his tone sharpening. The uncle offered her something, silence money, to walk away, to disappear. And she took it. That's why you haven't seen her in months. He slammed the paper down. She didn't get cut off. She sold out. The internet imploded again. Even Erika's defenders went quiet. Major journalists started comparing Chappelle's leaks to the Pentagon Papers, a once-in-a-lifetime unraveling of secrets that had crossed from political scandal into moral reckoning. Then, halfway through his stream, Chappelle's tone changed. He leaned in, his voice dropping to a whisper. "But what if I told you the widow wasn't the only one rewriting history?" He pulled out his phone, scrolling to a new message thread. "A source just sent me something right now that flips this whole story upside down." He turned the phone toward the camera. It showed an email header from Foundation Legal Confidential. The subject line read, "Repayment approvals, D. Chappelle, Advisory Consulting." The chat went berserk. What is that? Did they pay him? Is this fake? Dave's jaw tightened. "I told you there'd be a twist," he said. "You think they sent me that envelope out of kindness? They wanted me to say what they couldn't say themselves. They paid me to break the story before someone else did, then cut me loose when it blew up." The audience was stunned. "So yeah," Chappelle said bitterly. "They cut Erika off for tampering. But they paid me to expose her." He laughed, a dry, humorless laugh. "You see how deep this goes? The widow's corrupt. The family's corrupt. And they used me to destroy each other." Then he dropped the final bomb. "There's one more file," he said, holding up a USB stick. Charlie's voice from his phone. The night before he died. You'll hear exactly what he was about to reveal before they silenced him. He reached toward the laptop, but before he could play it, the feed glitched. The screen flickered, the chat froze, and the live stream ended abruptly. 10 seconds later, Chappelle's channel was wiped clean. Every video, every post, gone, and within minutes, a single tweet appeared from an anonymous account. The final file drops on Sunday. #CharlieVoice. The internet went wild. Was it real? Was someone else holding Charlie's last words? Or had Dave just triggered something far bigger than even he realized? Because if that file really existed, then everyone, the widow, the family, and even Dave himself was about to face the truth that none of them could control. By dawn, the world was in digital pandemonium. The abrupt blackout of Dave Chappelle's channel had detonated every corner of the internet. Within an hour, every hashtag connected to the story, #CharlieVoice, #Chappelle Cutoff, #Erika Exposed, and #The Widow Files was trending worldwide. Overnight, Dave Chappelle had gone from comedian to martyr, from comic rebel to whistleblower. His words weren't just viral, they were contagious. Social media was chaos. Fans, journalists, hackers, and influencers clashed in real-time war rooms. Telegram groups popped up across the world, organizing countdowns to Sunday, the supposed drop of Charlie's final recording. Live streamers started running 24-hour truth watches, speculating minute by minute what the missing audio could contain. On TikTok, millions posted theories under eerie audio clips of Chappelle's final words before his feed cut off. You'll hear exactly what he was about to reveal. But the strangest part? Every single major platform began glitching the moment those hashtags peaked. YouTube searches returned error, Reddit posts vanished, and even X experienced massive slowdowns. Some believed it was coincidence. Others believed it was censorship in real time. Then came the headlines, and they weren't subtle. Chappelle vanishes, comedian's channel deleted after promising. Final file, Rolling Stone. Charlie's Voice, inside the countdown to the most dangerous leak in America. The Guardian, the widow, the family. And the comedian who knew too much. Vanity Fair major outlets scrambled to secure interviews with anyone in Chappelle's orbit. His tour manager refused to comment. His wife reportedly left town. And Netflix, the platform that built its empire off his specials, issued an uncharacteristically cautious statement. We are deeply concerned by recent developments. We hope for Dave's safety and will not comment further. The phrasing only fueled the storm. Hope for Dave's safety. What did that even mean? Did Netflix know something the public didn't? Meanwhile, celebrities and public figures began picking sides, some defending Chappelle as a truth-teller, others calling him unstable. Joe Rogan, notably silent during the first wave, finally spoke during his podcast. When a guy like Dave, who's never bowed to anyone, says something like that and disappears. You don't need a conspiracy theory to see what's wrong here. Kim Kardashian posted an Instagram story that read simply, "I don't know what's real anymore." Hashtag Charlie Voice. Elon Musk, as usual, poured gasoline on the flames, tweeting, "Information is power. Silence is the proof of fear." The tweet received 60 million views before being deleted, sparking a new conspiracy that Chaos himself had heard the file. But the real chaos was offline. Protesters gathered outside Turning Point USA's headquarters, waving signs that read, "Play the tape" and "Where's Dave?" The Kirk family's home became a fortress. Security doubled, reporters kept at a 100-yard distance. Erika Kirk remained in hiding, but her lawyer released a statement that only deepened the mystery. "Our client has not been in possession of any recordings or documents related to her late husband's death. Any suggestion otherwise is defamatory and dangerous." The word dangerous caught everyone's attention. Was she referring to public reaction or to the recording itself? Then came the biggest blow of all. Hackers from the collective known as SpectreNet claimed they'd intercepted fragments of the Charlie Voice file. They posted a scrambled 5-second clip that sent shivers across the internet. It was distorted, muffled, but undeniably human, a man's voice whispering, "They're watching me. Tell her not to." The audio cut off mid-sentence. SpectreNet servers went offline minutes later. Their pinned message, "We did our part. The rest is up to you." By now, the mainstream media couldn't ignore the story, even as they scrambled to control it. CNN held an emergency live broadcast titled "The Chappelle Leak: Truth or Digital Hysteria." Their guest panel, a mix of tech experts, comedians, and political analysts, tried to calm the public. "This could all be deepfake manipulation," one analyst said. But halfway through the segment, the broadcast was abruptly interrupted by static, and the screen flashed a message, 11:11, the truth speaks. It lasted 3 seconds before the feed returned to normal. But it was long enough to ignite the next global movement. Across every social platform, users began changing their profile names to 11:11. The theory? That was the scheduled time on Sunday when the Charlie Voice file would finally be released. Hashtags like #HearHim and #TheLastVoice flooded timelines. Musicians began sampling the whispered line, "They're watching me," into haunting remixes. Memes, AI renderings, and eerie countdown videos spread faster than any coordinated campaign could have managed. And through all the noise, one disturbing thread started gaining traction. Several of Charlie Kirk's old acquaintances, journalists, activists, and former Turning Point employees began sharing the same cryptic message. "Charlie warned us. We didn't listen." One whistleblower even appeared on a live stream with independent reporter Laura Loomer, claiming to have been part of Charlie's final call list. According to him, Charlie had reached out to a handful of people days before his death, saying he'd uncovered something about internal corruption. Then he dropped a chilling line. "He told me he recorded everything. And he told me if anything happened to him, the file would find its way out." That statement sent the internet into overdrive. Suddenly, people weren't just waiting for a leak. They believed they were witnessing the plan Charlie himself set in motion. On Saturday night, less than 24 hours before the supposed drop, the White House press secretary was forced to address the frenzy. During a briefing, a journalist asked whether the government was monitoring the Chappelle situation. Her answer? We're aware of widespread online misinformation and potential security threats associated with certain media leaks. That's all I can say. Security threats. That word confirmed everyone's worst suspicion that whatever Charlie Kirk recorded, whatever Erika deleted, and whatever Chappelle tried to expose, it wasn't just personal. It was political by Sunday morning. The digital world stood still. Billboards, graffiti, anonymous projections across major cities all carried the same eerie message. 11:11, he speaks. And as the clock ticked closer, live streamers counted down in whispers, terrified and thrilled, wondering if the final voice of Charlie Kirk, silenced once, buried twice, was finally about to rise. When the clock struck 11:11, the entire planet seemed to hold its breath. Millions of phones glowed in dark rooms. Millions of streams ran in eerie silence. Every viewer staring at the same countdown, the same blinking text across every major feed. The file will play in 3, 2, 1, then static. At first, people thought it was a glitch. A faint hum filled the speakers, followed by a distorted voice, low, trembling, unmistakably human. It was Charlie Kirk. You could hear the weight in his tone, the exhaustion, the paranoia. If you're hearing this, he began, then something's happened, and you need to understand why. The world froze. They told me to keep quiet, he said. Said it wasn't my business. But I saw the numbers. I saw what they were moving under my name. Erika doesn't even know the full story. They used her too. The foundation isn't what you think. A rustle of papers. A sigh. They're building something not political, not charitable. A network. A system that uses donor data to track everyone who's ever given money, ever signed up, ever believed. They said it was for influence. It's not. It's for control. Gasps echoed across live streams as millions listened in stunned silence. Charlie's voice cracked. I found out they were funding it through our accounts. I tried to stop it. Erika thought I was paranoid, but when I showed her the documents, she called someone. 2 days later, my security team was gone. My laptop disappeared. And then, static again. A long pause. The kind of silence that feels alive. If anything happens to me, go to Dave. He's the only one who can make them listen. The comedian. The only man who can tell the truth and not get laughed off the stage. Every viewer's heart stopped. Charlie had said Dave's name before his death. Then came the final sentence. The one that shattered the internet. Tell Erika I forgive her. She never knew who she was really working for. The recording cut off, no outro. No watermark. Just silence, and then chaos. Millions erupted online. Comment sections exploded in real time. Some people cried on camera. Others screamed that it was fake, deep fake, scripted. But experts from multiple independent labs confirmed within hours that the voice was authentic. It matched Charlie's cadence, tone, and stress patterns perfectly. That line, "She never knew who she was really working for," changed everything. It shifted the target off Erika and onto something darker, something above her, something unseen. Within 30 minutes, the Kirk Foundation's website went offline. Their social media vanished. Even archived pages began returning for 04 errors. Reporters outside their headquarters in Phoenix said black. SUVs arrived minutes before servers were physically removed from the building. Theories exploded. Some said the foundation was a front for political influence laundering. Others claimed it was tied to international data firms with secret government contracts. One anonymous insider told a reporter, Charlie found out about the donors being profiled for predictive analytics. He wasn't supposed to. Meanwhile, Dave Chappelle resurfaced on Instagram with a single cryptic post. a black screen, and the words, "He spoke." Now listen to who answers. It was liked 5 million times in under an hour. But the strangest development came right after, when multiple users noticed that Chappelle's post was edited 5 minutes later to include coordinates in the metadata. When cross-referenced, those coordinates pointed to a small, abandoned broadcast station outside Nashville, a site long rumored to be used by government contractors for data recovery experiments. Journalists, streamers, even amateur investigators rushed to the site. By midnight, drones had captured footage of unmarked vans leaving the compound. One of the vans was labeled with a partial sticker, FDR Sector 11. The internet went feral again. FDR became the next viral mystery. Some believed it stood for Foundation Data Repository. Others said it was short for Federal Digital Reconstruction. But the truth, if there even was one, stayed hidden. Then, as people argued, a new video appeared on Chappelle's wiped channel. No title, no caption, just the thumbnail of a dimly lit hallway. The video began with a man's silhouette walking toward the camera, tall, calm, voice unmistakable. "It was Chappelle. I told you they couldn't silence him," he said softly. "But you're all missing the point." He stepped closer to the lens, his eyes hard. "You think this is about one widow, one foundation, one family. It's not. Charlie didn't die because of money. He died because he tried to unplug a machine too big for any of us to touch." He looked away, exhaling, and now it's awake. The feed cut instantly, and in the seconds before it vanished from YouTube. One user captured the last frame, a blurred reflection in the glass door behind Chappelle. It wasn't his reflection. It was a woman's, Erika, Kirk, standing behind him, smiling. The internet went silent for a full 10 minutes. A digital graveyard of disbelief. Was it real? Was it staged? Was Erika alive, complicit, free, or something else entirely? Then, all at once, every live stream that had been counting down to #CharlieVoice froze, replaced by one chilling message across every major platform. As if the internet itself were speaking. "Phase TWO activated." The screens went black dot, and just like that, the truth, whatever it was, slipped back into the shadows. Because if Charlie's voice was the beginning, Phase 2 was the reckoning. And this time, it wouldn't just expose the Kirk family, it would expose everyone. So here we are, at the edge of something bigger than any of us can fully understand. The voice was real. The file was real. The reaction, the blackout, the vanishing foundation, all of it happened right in front of us. And yet, we still don't know who's really behind it. We don't know who Charlie Kirk was fighting against, or why Erika Kirk appeared in that reflection. Was she in on it? Was she silenced? Or was she part of Phase 2 all along? That's where you come in, because this story doesn't stop with them. It keeps going as long as you keep asking questions. That's what Charlie died for. That's what Dave risked everything for. And that's why whoever's pulling the strings is trying so desperately to make you look away right now. So Dan, drop your theories in the comments. Every piece matters. Was Erika Kirk the real architect behind the Foundation's machine? Did Charlie record something even deeper? Or did Dave Chappelle uncover a secret so dangerous it's now moving without him? Make your voice louder than theirs. Share this video. Tag your friends. Flood the hashtags #CharlieVoice, #Phase 2, #The machine is awake, because every repost, every conversation keeps the truth alive a little longer. And remember this. The message Charlie left wasn't just a warning. It was a mission. He told us to listen, to pay attention, to never let silence win. So keep watching your screens, keep your notifications on, and stay ready. Because when Phase 2 begins, when they speak, the world won't be the same. Stay loud. Stay brave. Stay awake. The truth isn't coming. It's already here. The truth isn't coming. It's already here.